Pleased as always to be joined by the head coach of the Dark Horses, Johnny Boykin.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you.
And we've got some special guests this week. We've got Jaden Williams and Devin Gardner. We'll be talking with them a little bit later in today's program. Johnny Boykin Coaches Show brought to you by Rabo Agri-Finance. They're the local agricultural lender. Internationally, they're the largest agricultural lender. Offices in North Carolina, serves Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. And also here, brought to you by Pizza Inn. Brad Hale here at Pizza Inn. The first Friday of every month is Wing Night. And that'll be next one will be October 4th. And wings starting at 5 p.m. till close. 5 a.m. wings will be pretty good too, but it's 5 p.m. till close. All right, we'll get into it. Last week, the horses were open. Now, you've been coaching a long time. If you were setting a schedule, what would be the ideal spot for an open week?
Right before conference play.
So we're probably kind of close to it.
Yeah, we're pretty close to where I'd like it. You never want to go too far. I've had games where we've gone 8 weeks before we got into a conference, an open week. But I think 5 and 5, somewhere in there, depends on the split of your conference, would be a great place right before conference play.
So we're kind of close to that with 4 and one more non-conference and the start of conference play. Yeah, an early open date was always, I never liked that.
Yeah, no, they're tough because especially with a young team, you get in a groove, get in a routine, and we experienced some of that today. They're out of the routine, and now we got to get them back and get them focused and get them back in the routine. So
and late ones like always tough, especially we had last conference year and we had open weeks. We were like the last week of the regular season. Never like that. All right, now Monday would have been thrown off for the weather last week, but how do you handle the open week in regards to your practices? Well,
we normally take Mondays off, give the kids an opportunity to do some schoolwork and go home after school, give our coaches a little break.
Nice to have
we all need that. And then we have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we practice. Generally have some kind of outing. I think we came over here to Pizza Inn, and our varsity team had a little outing. We came over here and ate some good pizza. And then we gave them all Friday night, and it ended up being a longer weekend than we thought because we played the following Thursday night prior to that. So we've been off the last 2 Fridays. So we're charged, recharged, and ready to go.
And I think that's why it's important to have that like we had right in the middle because it's a long season.
It is a long season.
I mean, you're starting August 1st besides all the summer stuff, but officially August 1st. Again, it runs through November, so it's nice to have that break. And like I say, everybody needs to get away from it.
And those dates are getting pushed further and further back with the football calendar. It's been kind of crazy. When I got here, we get out of school in May. In Greensboro, I would just be starting spring ball in May. So there's a lot of adjusting to do, to say the least.
I'll get some short answer questions maybe here, but how's, with the open week coming into the game against Princeton this week, how's the injury status of the team?
We're okay. We got a couple injuries that I found out today that we're a little dinged up. So hopefully we can get those bodies healed. We need everybody. So hopefully they'll be able to go on Friday.
All right. Now going back to practice last week, I should have asked that question then. How much was much live hitting, or just a lot of work on fundamentals?
No, just a lot of fundamentals, a lot of us working on us, tackling, leverages, just football fundamental kind of stuff. Just trying to get better with some of the things that we've seen, over the last 4 weeks, bringing some of those schemes back to see just how far we've come and our recognition and our ability to force leverage and box and spill and people know their roles on the defense and offense.
Try to expand some things too? Or?
Yeah, we put in, it's going to be interesting when we play, but we put in some new things to try to move us forward in our package a little bit. We'll see how that works out. It's a game time thing.
Anyone move to a new position? I know sometimes
everybody.
In the past,
we've got, I think our quarterback last week also plays running back. He plays defensive end. He plays outside linebacker. And he plays safety. So we're trying to find pieces. We've got an outside linebacker, Will, who we found out can catch. So we've kind of moved him and see if he can help us in another position. So we're just trying to find roles for people.
And ultimately, you want to put the best 11 people out there,
no doubt,
to play.
No doubt.
With also some idea of depth, because I know a number of them are going both ways.
Right,
so
correct.
they've got to be a break in there someplace. Now, with the 8-quarter rule, this isn't so much an issue anymore. But did you move anybody up or down from the JV?
No,
just kind of kept.
No, we're going to keep our JVs together. They've got good chemistry, good vibe, and we want to keep this varsity group together. You know, we got 5 seniors. So we'll return a bunch of those guys back next year with the uncovered JV team. So,
now, how much do you use the 8-quarter rule? Now, maybe explain. Some people don't know. Explain the 8-quarter rule briefly, but something that's been it's been a few years. But
8 quarters a rule that the state association adopted that would allow. It was really set up for smaller schools to expand their rosters on the varsity, where a JV kid could play Thursday night, but he could also provide depth on Friday night for the varsity team. So that was the parameters. Now it's used differently today, but when we first started, that was the parameters of it.
Yeah. And they have to be physically checked after the JV team.
They have to go through.
There are safeguards.
Yeah, they have to go through meet with the doctor and go through a physical. So there are safeguards with that. And they can only play 8 quarters for the whole year.
Oh, 8 quarters up on the varsity.
Yes, if they play 8 quarters, then they are considered a varsity player.
Okay. How much have you utilized that this year?
None.
You don't plan on?
None. We had. Well, I take that back. We did have a punter come up. Matter of fact, Amir Wright, who was in our first game. Our soccer team had a game, and they had all our kickers, so he came up. And we used 8 quarter then. So that's the only time
we've used it. Yeah. Speaking of the JV team, they're 2-2. How pleased are you with their development?
Oh, they're coming along, starting to establish leadership. There's a hierarchy on every team, and their roles being defined, and they're in a good place right now. Really focused, really excited, very coachable. And we got some numbers down there too. So we're always interested in see them guys play. They play with so much enthusiasm. They remind you of, when you first started playing and why you play. They still got that kid-like spirit. But you lose some of that. When you lose that, you lose your edge as to why you play. So it's good to see them.
How do you handle? I was going to ask this at the beginning of the year when we was together one time. How do you handle the JV and the different staffs do different things? Some there's a separate JV staff. Others, the same coaches coach everybody.
Yeah.
So they're getting the same kind of instruction and all. When they're on defense, maybe they're with there's only a defensive coach only coach defense, whether it's JV and varsity. How are you handling that?
Well, right now, we're not handling it like I want to handle it. Right now, we're actually having 2 practices. We have a varsity practice and a JV practice. So we go individual, group, and team with the varsity offense and the JV defense. JV's is on defense during that time, and then we just flop them.
Okay.
So make sure they're getting what they need.
Everybody's getting the same instruction.
Yeah, and it creates a longer practice than you want to practice. I like to be able to be between 2 hours and 2 hours and a half on the field.
Yeah.
But we're having to go a little bit longer than that just because of the 2 teams.
Setup of it.
Yeah.
And part of that's when you get a full staff, you'll be able to.
Yeah, it'll make it a little better. We'd like to. The way we like to do it is we treat them as one team in terms of our depth chart, and allow them to grow together. So we'll see how that works out as we continue to grow our program.
Who are some of the players on the JV team that really stood out and really progressed well? Just a couple names.
Elijah Bryan is our quarterback. He kind of leads it all. We've got one of the Lewis boys that plays defensive end. He's a tough out. He brings a little character to our defense. A running back does a really good job. 5. I can't think of names right now because my mind is spinning.
You get so many things.
Boys, forgive me. You know how I am. But we got a good mix down there with the offensive line, defensive line, and they play really hard.
That's good.
Running back Gavin. So he does good. He's going to be a big timer. He's about 5'11", about 185 right now.
He's a
freshman.
Freshman?
Yeah.
There you go. And you have to have a number of a lot of players have to be freshmen because you got quite a few sophomores on the varsities.
Yeah.
And the JVs will be at home this Thursday, taking on Princeton at 6:30. So if you want to come out and see a good, coachable, exciting young team, then head to Clinton High School this Thursday, 6:30. And the JVs only have, I think, 2 more home games left, I think, because the varsity is going to be home quite a lot here toward the end of the year. Again, the Johnny Boykin Coaches Show brought to you by Rabo Agri-Finance, your local agricultural lender, internationally the largest agricultural lender. Offices in North Carolina serve Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Again, Pizza Inn, Brad Hale here. Friday nights, it's Friday Night Lights. You can get $2 off an adult buffet if you wear your high school logo or your high school colors. That's every Friday here at Pizza Inn. All right. We have Jaden with us here today. We'll talk to him shortly. He's the leader on defense at his linebacker position. I've been impressed by as a group. Your linebackers are active each game. Kind of discuss your linebacker group.
Really athletic group, and probably the most explosive group I've had as a collective. They will hit, they will run, and they don't go unnoticed if you watch a Dark Horse football game.
You can tell,
So I'm really pleased with their growth and development, and they're continuing to be coachable and continue to grow as we continue to move on during the season.
Yeah, on to make plays.
Oh yeah, they're playmakers. They're playmakers. We just, you don't always get a chance at linebacker just to run. And they've gotten a chance to, our defensive line has done a really good job, which has allowed them to kind of be free and run a little bit. So,
and that's not always an easy sell, but that's what hard to sell. You got to tell your linemen is a lot of times you may not make the tackle, but if you can keep linemen from getting to the linebacker so those linebackers can run free, you're doing their job.
They make the play. Yeah. They make the play.
So we'll go to the linemen now. You got a number of linemen going both ways. Devin's here saying he's one of them. Yeah. So they kind of discuss their development here this year.
They're coming along. On the offensive line, it's been a little slow, just because we've been kind of shuffling people back and forth. And unlike most teams, when they come off the field, which they don't, we don't get a chance to sit down with them and show them and talk to them. Make adjustments, all those things. It was kind of always a fluid situation because they're right back on the field. And we've been trying to relieve them a little bit on special teams, so that they can at least get a break. Yeah, so that's been a challenge, but they've come along, and the last game we had 2 breakaways, which we hadn't had anything that looks like that thus far. So there's some slow progress coming there. Our defensive line is really growing together. I think we've been doing a nice job with them, and hadn't been great, but it's been to the point where we're starting to establish some consistency in how we play.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Let's go to Princeton in this week. Princeton's coming up this week. Discuss the Bulldogs. They're coming in at 1-3. Excuse me. They come in at 1-3. They're like 3 points away from being 3-1, though.
Yeah.
They lost 2 close ones at the beginning of the year. So discuss the Bulldogs and the challenges.
Well, it's not going to be a pretty game. They line up from shoe to shoe within a 5-yard box. They remind me of Trinity High School back in the day. And the Notre Dame box is what it looks like. And they go right and they go left. They run about 3 plays. They'll sneak a pass in there on you every now and then. But it's going to find out who's willing to stand in there and put their pads on. It's
a different offense, but it's the same offense as what we've seen with other wing T teams.
Correct.
There's a lot. It's really a wing T set, except you just don't have a quarterback behind the center. And it's basically a wing T set without the quarterback. Yeah. But there's basically buck sweeps and traps, and so that's really, and having played a lot of wing T teams,
it'll help us.
Yeah.
The gap schemes haven't changed. They're winning with numbers. They bring more numbers to the point of attack than most teams we've seen defend them. And they do a good job. They know their scheme. They know what they're looking for. And their kids come and put their face masks on you.
They do.
So, I told our kids today, you have to embrace the physical nature of this game, because they're going to come, and I showed them a couple clips of kids putting their face masks on a kid. And you got to be willing to accept that challenge.
Oh, yeah. So
that's where we are.
It'll be interesting.
It's going to be an interesting, and we're looking forward to it. We believe this is a very winnable game for us, but it's challenging in the point that you got to stand in there and be willing to be physical for 60-yard snaps without the threat of a pass because they're not going to change. They're just going to come downhill. And they'll keep coming at you and keep coming at you. So the challenge is between the ears, and then sometimes the challenge is, are you going to stay in there and play your technique and handle that physical nature? If you watched any college ball this weekend, there were a bunch of business decisions being made, a lot of big scores, and there was a lot of guys making some business decisions. And, that's what that offense puts in your ears to question whether you want to stand in there and take it or not.
Yeah, and you can't start running around blocks.
Oh, no.
You'll be creating holes, all kind of seams in there with what they run.
Yeah.
Which is just pretty much. And their leading rusher is a freshman.
Yeah,
right now. So and he's a hard-nosed kid.
Yeah,
and all.
shifty.
Yeah. Now the turf field, any changes with cleats or shoes or anything, or just
no?
You just go play.
I might go get me some new cleats.
The players just play.
No, but just that I'm not a big believer in the turf. I don't really like it, but I get it for some communities.
Oh, sure.
But we'll go down there and compete, get on it, and we'll be faster. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. So, defensively, they look like a 4-4.
Yeah, they're cover zero.
And they are. They're straight. Looks like a straight man, maybe a little
straight
man
zero.
free.
Yeah, maybe a little man free here and there, but they're
coming.
They're set up like a 4-4, and they're going to bring some pressure and try to force you to do some things.
Ends look like they did a good job on counters, coming right down the line and making a play from behind. I was impressed by some of their defensive ends.
Yeah.
All right. You want to bring in Jaden now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We'll have Jaden Williams come in here, one of the captains of the team. And again, Johnny Boykin Coach Show brought to you by Rabo Agri-Finance, local agricultural lender, internationally the largest agricultural lender. The offices in North Carolina serve Virginia, North and South Carolina. And again, Brad Hale Pizza Inn, so kind to let us come down here every Monday. Again, we'll be on air every Monday at 7 o'clock, oldies1170.com, Facebook. Proud to welcome in Jaden Williams. Thanks for joining us this evening. Only returning starter. It's something when you get all the returning starters for one team in one picture like this. That speaks something for the youth of this year's team. So it's only natural you assume a leadership role with this team being the only returning starter. How did you prepare yourself for that role, and what ways have you been fulfilling that role?
I knew it was going to be a whole different vibe to it, because last year there were so many older guys on the team, and I was kind of like the one that was under them, and they were being the leaders to me and stuff. And this year I had to come in and do the same thing they did, so I learned from them and just had to lead my team the best I could, and I'm still trying to do that.
Verbally and then also by example.
Yes, sir.
Work on the field. All right, give everyone a taste of being a linebacker, okay? Let's say, all right, this play is just over with.
Okay.
Play's done. Say you got the tackle on the running back, okay? Tell everyone what's involved. What do you have to do before that next play starts?
Immediately look to the sideline and get your next call immediately. Like right when you stand up, look to the sideline. Coach is going to be there making the play, and he's going to tell you what to run, and you got to get in the huddle real quick, because a lot of teams they'll try to fast snap it. So you got to get in the huddle real quick, let your teammates know what's going on, and then you break it, and then you line up.
So you're relaying the call to the rest of the team.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now you broke the huddle. Offense comes out. Are you making strength calls with all that?
Yeah, it all depends on what front we're in. Like over, that's just regular. You call it to the strong side, and then eagle, you call it away from the strong side.
Okay.
So you just got to look at what the call was and look at how they're lined up, make the strong call.
Based off scout reports and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure, too, it might be an eagle front. You set the strength the way you need to, and you've got a lineman who's out of position or something. No, that's not Devin. Devin would never do that. But you got a lineman out of position, so you have to move them around, too, and all. I mean, you're basically being the quarterback of the defense out there.
But most of the time, the D-line know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. Okay. So not too often you got to adjust.
They know what they're doing.
That's good. All right. Now, this is just between you and me. Coach Boykin isn't listening. We put a shield over here, okay? All right. Last game, you had a few carries in the backfield and broke what was probably the longest run of the season. All right. Have you been lobbying for some more work in the backfield?
After that, definitely. But when I was growing up at Royal Lane playing Rick, I was always the running back. I was always the starting running back. So it's kind of like a second nature to me. And I like playing running back, I guess.
Think you might get some more touches here in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I hope so.
All right.
Yeah. I hope so.
All right, now we'll let Coach Boykin back in. You can listen now. And he had again that huge run there. It was the second quarter, I think it was, and of course at the end of the game, the block punt, and he had a nice block Bass or Mazingo. I think made a nice block for Mazingo. And then but you took it. There's nobody catches. So you got the speed now. So I just wondered maybe we see a few more plays there at running back. You what?
We can only hope.
There you go. Yeah, recently had a visit to Coastal Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that experience and your current recruiting situation.
It was amazing. Like the field, obviously the teal blue, amazing. And then the entrance, they had bikes that rolled out onto the field like motorcycles, and then they were lined up, and then they had their mascot lead them in on this little go-kart type thing, and it had flames coming out of it, and the players came in behind it, and it was loud, and I liked it a lot.
What game did you see?
It was against William and Mary.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Any other recruiting visits or anything else planned? Get some other letters or interest from anybody?
I went to last season after the Week 7 game. I went to NC State, and then after that I got an invite to App State. I couldn't make that one though because it's so far away. But the NC State one was good too. I like that one.
It's good to have options.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a lot of options, I believe.
Yeah,
but Coastal's a nice place, and of course, being close by and all that's a good situation. But I think you're going to have a lot more offers, a lot more chances to see games in the future.
Let's hope. It's all about hard work.
And again, you got a good coaching staff to rely on to get some advice and family too, and all that. So, all right, thanks for joining us, Jaden. We're going to bring in Devin now, real quick, to finish off our show. Name right. You come over and put a block on me for mispronouncing your name there, Devon.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. All right, you're team captain. How have you approached your responsibilities of being a captain for this year's team?
It's most definitely a new experience because it's my first time actually starting on varsity. So to be a captain, it's been great. It's been great leading the team.
Now you take a verbal leadership role,
I tell people you gotta get where you need to be and everything like that. So it's been good.
And so obviously the season hasn't gone the way we wanted, but I think everybody's had a good attitude and keep working hard. I think that has to start from Jaden and you being the captains.
Yeah, so we tell them every game we gotta keep working. It starts in the heart. So we got to have a good heart in the team and be like a family so we can get this win.
And from practices too on Monday, Tuesday, whenever that comes there too. I know you're going both ways.
Yes, sir.
What positions?
I play every O-line position and I play defensive tackle.
All right. So going both ways is tough, but especially for a lineman because there's going to be contact every play.
Yes, sir.
Now again, you can be a linebacker. All right, we can all attest to that because we've got 3 linebackers here. But there could be a pass play, and you're in a pass drop. You don't hit anybody. But a lineman, you're going to be hitting somebody 60, 70, 80 or more plays a game. So give the viewers and listeners an idea of what it's like to play in a game where you're making contact every single play of the game.
It hurts. After the game, when you get a hot, cold shower or whatever, it hurts. You're going to feel it after that game. And I think it helped me to be more physical, to be playing both sides, it helped me know where the defense is going since I do play both sides. So it really helped me.
Kind of gives you the insight on both sides of the ball based off things. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. Now, how do you get spelled? At times we would do. If somebody's playing, we need you on offense more, maybe a little deeper. You might play 2 series on offense, 1 on defense, and take a break. Or are you pretty much out there the whole time?
On offense, I'm pretty out there the whole time unless I need a breather. But on defense, we have a couple players that actually gets me if I need one because I do need to be on offense. So
I'd say one of those that if you get a breather, you actually want a breather, or if you get taken out of the game, you're like, come on, coach, don't take me out of the game.
Oh, no, I need that breather.
Because trust me, going that many plays and that long, it's tough going that far.
Yes,
all right. As a center, what's the difference what would be the difference in your block? Say you're playing center. Difference in your blocking scheme. You got an odd man front and an even man front. How does that change your assignment?
So odd man front is really you're blocking the same person. If you're at center, you're blocking the same person every play. It doesn't matter what play it is, you're still going to block them. But an even front, you have to take more steps when you're snapping the ball. So it's harder to gain ground when you're snapping if you have an even front.
Which one do you prefer? Odd front?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Now, you've been involved with some community service work in Butler Avenue.
Yes, sir.
What with whom was that involved with? Describe that.
It was amazing having the kids come out and, being the reason they smiled before they went to the building. It was amazing. Getting them out of their cars, they look at the jersey, they be like, I want that jersey. I'm going to play football one day. It's a great experience to be one of their role models.
So you do that every Friday or do that every day? Or
every home game.
Every home game you go
Yes,
out
sir.
on Fridays and get as the kids come off the bus?
Yes, sir.
Or out of the cars or whatever?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. I bet they do. That's a lot of times younger kids, they're going to look up to the high school because they can come out and see them every day. That's neat. So it's very good. And that's going to be for everyone throughout the rest of for the whole season.
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right. Devon, thank you. Sorry, I mispronounced your name too. Glad I didn't come over and block me. All right, thanks for joining us. All right. We've had Devon, we've had Jaden, we've had Coach Boykin here on the Johnny Boykin Coaches Show again every Monday. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Best of luck to the Dark Horses as they go to Princeton. JB's at home this Thursday at 6:30.